Femi did not lie when he said he had hacked my mind with the thing he blew on me. My mind now had the Bluetooth connection with his voice, and there was nothing I could do about it. We did not drive for long before arriving at his house. And apart from a few men, Femi himself, his driver, his bodyguard, and one other person that seems to be his relative, the place was filled with women. Femi told, "This is now your area. This bedroom and bathroom and the veranda outside must be sparkling clean at all times." Hey, oh Kira, big Lagos babe, now a glorified house girl. See where my desperation for Lambo has led me to. But my people, I was yet to see the worst. Getting my own Lambo, final part. The next morning, Femi called me into his study, sipping whiskey at that early hour like a villain in a Nollywood film. I already knew I wasn't going to like whatever would come out of his mouth. "Kira," he said, smiling. He smiles a lot, this evil man. "It's time for you to be useful." I swallowed and thought to myself, "Oga, I have been cleaning your bedroom and bathroom non-stop since yesterday. How much more useful do you want me to be?" "There's this man I want you to meet," he continued. "A very rich and powerful man who likes women like you." Like me? Did he mean fine and sexy or bewitched and confused? "You'll meet him tonight. You'll charm him, gain his trust, and then you'll bring him to me." I blinked, confused. "Bring him to you? For what? Bible study?" Femi laughed at my confused look. I was scared at that moment that he had heard my thoughts. Had this man hacked my thoughts too? Oh my God. "Kira, do you know why I am rich?" I shook my head, mostly because I genuinely wanted to know how this madness worked. "It's simple, really. I don't just trap women like you." He took another slow, infuriating sip of his drink. "I use them to trap big men." I was still confused. These wealthy men, they walk into my trap, lured by my girls, thinking they're about to have the time of their lives. But once they step into my world, he smiled darkly. They never leave the same. My stomach twisted. They end up belonging to me, and everything they own as well belongs to me. All their wealth. He informed me, much to my devastated amazement. So that was his end game, using his trapped women to trap men he would normally not have access to, and taking over their wealth. This man was worse than anything I had ever imagined, a walking nightmare. And when there's nothing left to give, he leaned in as he continued the story, whispering, "They ended themselves. Suicide, of course. It's cleaner that way, Kira. No police wahala, no missing persons drama." I gasped. I had ended up in the control of devil in human form for real. I wanted to cry. I wanted to rewind my life to the moment I saw Sophie and Mercy's Lambo and tell myself, "Face front, Kira." "You see, Kira," Don Femi continued, "I don't waste resources. As long as you're useful, you live. Even for my girls. Once anyone is no longer useful with all their spark gone and nothing to attract rich men with, the same fate befalls her." So, not only was I a glorified housemaid, a tool for trapping wealthy men, I was also on a countdown to my own death. I wanted to scream. This was not the rich girlfriend, Lambo riding, first class flying, soft life I had signed up for. That night, I met the man Femi assigned to me, a wealthy CEO fresh from Dubai, looking for some Lagos fun. He had no idea the fun he was signing up involved losing everything, including his life though. I followed Femi's instructions to the letter, laughed at the man's dry jokes, twirled my hair like I was genuinely interested in what he was saying, and when the time was right, I let the words slip smoothly out of my mouth. "Let's go to my place." Of course, the place wasn't mine. It was one of Femi's many trap apartments. And just like that, the CEO walked into his doom smiling. Another victim delivered. And that was how my life turned into a horrific cycle. Over the next few days, I entrapped 3 different men from 3 different countries, different industries, different levels of arrogance. And when one of them even refused to come with me to my place, but took me to his hotel room instead, I texted the address and room number to Don Femi on my Nokia phone. I had no choice but to do his bidding completely. I was totally under his control. Then I let him into the room an hour later when he arrived and watched him blow the evil smoke powder thing from his gourd onto my sleeping client. I was now a full-fledged but involuntary accomplice to evil. And back at his mansion, I was still a maid, cleaning, washing, and wiping his bedroom, bathroom, and terrace endlessly. There was no rest for me. I was a slave in designer clothes, and slowly, the will to live, the spark in me began to drain away. I could not find a way out as my mind was not my own. But seeing what happened to the girls who lost their spark completely, who were no longer useful to Femi, made me struggle to keep my verve, no matter how hard it was. The suicides that weren't really suicides, I didn't want that to be my fate at all. The first time I saw it happen, I was so shocked. Chai, a girl just walked calmly into the pool. I tried to run in to help her, but of course I had no control over my own limbs. I could only stand there in helpless horror, along with other girls, watching as she drowned. And it happened again and again. Each time a girl started to look too hollowed-eyed, lackluster, and unattractive, she wouldn't last another week. Femi would whisper something to her, and she would decide to end it, just like that. I needed to get free of Femi's power and make an escape somehow. But how? No matter how hard I sought for an escape route, I was unable to come up with something. Until one night, something went wrong during one of my assignments. Alright, the man Femi sent me to lure, the one I thought would be another victim, had his own plans. As soon as I got into his hotel room, his charming smile vanished. He moved fast, too fast, grabbing me from behind before I could react. "Relax," he whispered, pressing something against my arm. I felt a sharp sting, an injection. "Kira, what have you gotten yourself into again? See me see fry pan to fire." Who was he? A ritualist? A human parts dealer? I had no idea, but was certain that he planned to kill me there and then. I jumped up and ran for my life. For a moment, I was shocked. I wasn't managing to run. How was my mind doing what I willed it and not what Femi had programmed into it? It seemed Femi's powerful drug had been neutralized by that injection. But my shock did not stop me from continuing to run out of the hotel room and down the hallway. The man himself was shocked. He had obviously not expected me to react that way. The injection was meant to make me go unconscious and not bolt out like a lunatic. He was too shocked to even try to stop me, and when he finally moved, it was too late. I dove into the elevator and ran out of the hotel. Kira was finally free. I went into hiding in a cheap hotel in Ikorodu, where I felt Femi would not think to look for me. I knew he must be searching for me desperately. That man knew I know all his secrets and would want to take my life. But I had no money on me, so I had to reach out to an old maga for help. He agreed to see me. "No wahala, Kira, just come." I did, certain that I would be able to get enough money from him to get a new phone and pay for my room. The encounter went well, but I had barely stepped out of his apartment, cash clutched tightly in my hand, when I felt it. The presence, that choking, oppressive horror I had prayed never to feel again. I turned, and there he was, Femi. He was standing at the bottom of the stairs, smiling and holding his evil guard. Kira, he said smoothly in that rich baritone voice of his, like we were old friends. Did you really think you could run away from me? My breath caught in my throat. Not again. No, I moaned. He lifted his guard up, ready to blow the smoke on me again and throw me back into mindless servitude. Panic exploded inside me. I couldn't let this happen again. I couldn't go back to that life, which would only end up in my forced suicide. That was how I longed at Femi. The panic pushing me like a cornered cat, screaming and fighting for my sanity and life. I shoved him very hard. Femi's eyes widened in shock as he lost his balance, falling back towards the men that had accompanied him. The guard slipped from his fingers. Crack! The sound of his neck breaking as he hit the balustrade with force. At the same time, the guard hitting the ground and shattering. The blackish smoke escaped, thick, heavy, darker than my previous encounter with it. It engulfed Femi's men instantly. They staggered, choking, eyes rolling back. Then they froze, like puppets whose strings had just been cut. I did not wait to see more. Before the smoke could get to me, I ran as hard as I could and banged on my maga's door, screaming, "Help! Help! Kidnappers!" When he opened the door, I quickly ran in and slammed it shut. Called the police. We didn't open the door again until the police arrived, and by then, that evil smoke had cleared off. And just like that, it was all over. Femi was dead, his guard destroyed, his men taken into police custody in their stupefied state. And as the investigations into Femi's life began, I could only hope that the girl still trapped in his mansion would finally be free. And me? My people, that was how my desperation for Lambo was cured. Pata pata.